Neymar, because he's on long ball, get him behind and cut inside and one with. He makes this lovely run inside between the fullback and the center back. And like, it's literally just 1-2 ball and he's just in. And it's just a goal. What's going on, guys? Random here. Today we got the 4-3-3-4 custom tactics video. Now this formation is unreal counter-attacking. The build-up is okay. It's nothing crazy, but it's usable, like. But the counter-attacking that you can get from this, so good. And it's good against 5 back. And good against the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, because any formation that has attacking fullbacks gets destroyed by the 4-3-3-4, trust me. I'm on my main account, which, you know, very pay to win, but it works on anybody. You just need pacey wingers and pacey strikers and a pacey cam. Basically, you can't really use a normal cam. Well, you kind of can, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, like, for example, I have Ronaldo at cam. So, like, ideally what you would do is you'd have Neymar cam, like a gold Ronaldo striker, like an Mbappe on the wing, and then like anybody else, like a Rashford or Mane on like the other wing. So a setup kind of like that. Anyways, let's get into custom tactics. So I have like all the different variations set up, but this attacking one is the main one, and this is what you want more than anything. So first of all, you have the defensive style. So here's balance, obviously pretty standard, width 5, but 8 depth is key, and I'm gonna show you guys why that's so good. So with the 8 depth, your team auto offside drops, and here's a great example of it here. As you can see, his Mbappe is running true, but Kyle Walker starts to track it, right? AI by himself, but then the auto offside trap kicks in because it's on 8 depth. When any defender is like too far away, they'll just come back. So if you watch it, all AI, I'm just controlling Bruno, I'm just holding my center mid like a noob. Like Walker auto offsides, pulls that Mbappe offside, bang, offside. Could have been a goal if I didn't have 8 depth there. So that's like a really key part. So offensive style, we have long ball, which is all based on how we counter attack, with the one width, which comes into play with the attacking instructions as well. And 5 players in the box, just standard. And then corner free kicks is 4-4. I've been feeling more players in the box with these free kicks and corners recently. And they've actually been working out better for me. So if you guys haven't tried it already, I recommend giving 4 corners a go. 4 free kicks might help you score some more. And so as you can see in this clip, he had a free kick, and my team isn't now stuck in my box. With the 8 depth, they're slowly pushing up, pressuring the player because he now has very few options. See the way my team is like staying on the edge of the box, it's not sinking in, it's constantly pulling all his players offside, so he's cutting his passing options, and then he's forced to just make a bad pass and lose the ball. Alright, so with the offensive style at 1 width and being on long ball, you can see a lot of players are going forward with the long ball, but the 1 width leads to Kulu actually drifting inside here, right? And he pulls Mendy with him, which is the key thing to notice, right? So then, because once again it's on long ball, Cancelo makes a little run forward, and now I've just got so much space to bring the ball up the pitch for free. And I can just play that inside and work it from there. So onto the instructions, we'll start from the back. We got Yashin, comes for crosses and sweeper keeper, pretty standard, use that in every formation. And then the defense is just everybody stay back, nothing too complicated whatsoever. Then for Vieira, you want to have one holding mid, okay? And he's going to be stay back while attacking and cover center, and you'll see how that plays out in game. Alright, so here you can see I lose the ball and he's on a counter attack, but with Vieira on stay back, he's still so far back in the pitch that like you're not that vulnerable to a counter attack, because you have your 4 defenders on stay back coupled with Vieira on stay back. So whilst Bruno has drifted up the pitch, everybody else is still back, so you still have 5 defenders back in total, and ultimately like that's more than enough. And then you can just select Vieira and start just covering passing lanes, making tackles and whatnot, and boom, there he intercepts the ball, gets it, then you start your attack, you know. And even if you lose it around here, which I do, Vieira is still far enough back, making impact defensively. The other center mid, however, is more of that box to box role that you guys should be familiar with, where you want him on balance, but still cover center, but just balanced across the board everywhere else. So he does, you know, make the odd run forward, but he's not completely always missing on defense. Like, you don't want to use get forward either, because he is a center mid rather than a CDM, so he is already starting in an advanced position. So we start our attack here on the left hand side, and you know, Vieira's carrying the ball a little further forward than he normally is, but that's fine because we'll get it to the cam. And now you want to look at Bruno, okay? So him being on balance comes into his own here. He'll start making that run, you know, and which ultimately leads to free space because you have the front three, Neymar, Mbappe, and Kulu all taking a defender, as well as Ronaldo taking a centre back as well, as he's almost a second striker with being a stay forward cam. Now this allows Bruno to work into a little bit of space and really create not a pleasant scenario for your opponent. Ultimately, I do lose the ball, but you can see how he can have such a big impact on your attack. With your cam, you want to have him certainly on stay forward for how we counter attack and get into the box for cross, because you want him to be in there if you are crossing it, or if you play it out wide and then play it back in, you want him to join basically your striker as a second striker if you have slower build up and you want to pass it across in the box, because it's just easier to create a chance rather than him staying outside of the box. So with your cam being on stay forward, you have a few options of what you can do with him. You should always kind of get the ball to him here, so he can either do two options. One, he can ping it out to one of the wingers if they're making a good run in space. Otherwise, he can play a little 1-2 with your striker and just kind of work that. So here I go for the 1-2 option because there's no real ones out wide. Play 1-2, wait for the true ball, return it back to him, and then I just take a quick snapshot. Now here's the second example. Here the winger is free, so with Ronaldo we play that true ball to the winger as opposed to just playing the 1-2 with the striker. Then for the wingers, you have quite a few instructions here. You actually have 4 on not default. So you got stay forward, cut inside, get in behind, and get into the box. And this is the same for both of the wingers. So stay forward, obviously he's just going to stay up there, good for counter attacks. Cut inside, you want him to cut in between the fullback and the center back. Get in behind, obviously, so he makes that run, and then get in the box for cross, because once again you do want all these forwards in the box if you get into a crossing position. Neymar, because he's on a long ball, get him behind and cut inside and one with. He makes this lovely run inside between the fullback and the center back, and like it's literally just 1-2 ball, and he's just in, and it's just a goal. It's really simple. Last but not least, we got Mbappe here at striker. So your striker needs to be stay central, very key for the runs he makes. Otherwise he drifts out wide and he like runs into a winger, and then you're left with nobody in the middle. It's terrible. You need to stay central on for sure. Get him behind so he obviously makes those runs, and stay forward because once again it's all about the counter attack. So like with this the Mbappe goal, like Ronaldo picks it up basically, like that's literally on the halfway line, but he has it at cam, and the defense is just drawn so far by the two wingers that literally Mbappe can just run through the middle, and it's just literally a simple true ball, but gets a goal out of it.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame, though it might be nice to own a jet plane. I'ma do it all for you,